Namaste, Jai Bharat. I don't know how the American citizens are taking Trump, and I really can't understand what they think of him or activities. In all likelihood, as I understand, or as I think now, that the average citizen of America is not really aware of what is Trump doing around, and they don't bother. The self-centered society that's largely materialistically oriented society, which has this necessarily built-in self-centeredness. So they just don't bother about what happens to others. They don't really bother about what happens to neighbor. It's a different kind of psyche or mental makeup. I'm not telling this is right or that is not right. I'm telling that this different kind of mental makeup from what we see in Bharat. Recently, there was a story of a Russian women fighter pilot who happened to come to Bharat for 1 week's some kind of official work. She's a fighter pilot. She probably came here to fly the Tejas aircraft of Bharatiya Vaisena. And during that 1 week, she finds a kind of paradigm shift in her mind, primarily because of the attitude of people of Bharat, their caring tendency, etc., to friends, and something which is entirely different from what she used to, what she's used to in Russia. But what I understand, the Russians through the Russian novels, they're fundamentally very emotional people who are related to one another. They take care of things. Most likely because of that background, she finds it more explicit in Bharat, and eventually she requests the government of their government, Russian government, for a permission to stay in Bharat, and it is eventually granted. We accepted her and they let her stay, and all those things. No? This is because people are little more personally connected to others who are near them, and they become dear. But this is not the situation in the case of societies which are materialistically more oriented, whereas our society is more oriented towards spirituality. These are all archetype statements, not necessarily correct in each and every case. That's a universality about it. Fine. So Trump, whatever he does, may not really concern average American citizen until, of course, it hits him. This is a normal thing, as I guess. It's only my understanding. So he had been trying his best to get many nations under his spell, and he had failed miserably in case of Bharat, because this is a different kind of people who are used to getting bullied in the past and resisting, and still keeping their identity, their self-esteem, and all those things. And then what Trump tried, he is asking NATO to follow whatever he says, and NATO, I don't think is taking the words of Trump that serious. They have not. They turned dumb ears to such things. And now Trump is very angry with NATO and says that you are a useless lot, you don't mean anything to the world, etc. I stopped 7 wars. My God, this is too tall a claim that he stops everything. I had been doing this, I had been doing that, I had been doing all job for you, I had been doing everything for you, and you people don't do anything. Such statements comes out from him through talks, actually. And in the meantime, many, I don't want to name, many nations in NATO are not really cooperating with Trump, and they are trying to find out their own individual independent relations, even with Bharat. And Trump says, you also impose a tariff on Bharat, you also stop buying oil from, or things from Russia, not necessarily oil, gas at times. And all the time, this person buys minerals, uranium, etc. from Russia, that he is conveniently forgetting, and the European Union buys things from Russia, and this money that goes to Russia, they have promised them that they will not use it in Ukraine war. They only use the money which they get from Bharat and China. They will only use that to Ukraine war, and these kind of things gets projected. Our money will not be misused. Your money is getting misused, so we can buy and you can't buy. These are the kind of things which is implicitly spoken. So he is telling NATO, these people, European Union, they are waste, and of course, obviously, NATO is waste, and you people don't do anything. Everything I had, etc., etc. This, of course, is kind of an expression of someone who is not very consistent in his thoughts. Suddenly something else, suddenly something else. And whatever may be the case, personally I may be able to speak about him, but as the head of a state, I should not and I don't want to. But certain things need to be spelled out, certain things need to be told. So that's precisely simply what I am doing, what I am saying. So finally, Trump is trying to say the NATO is a waste, of course. He said it now, but then I think the whole world knows that NATO had been a waste, and the European Union can't do anything, don't do anything until they talk to people in the rest of the world in equal terms. There is no boss and there is no one subaltern. As a nation, no nation is to be treated as subaltern. But these have people of an attitude which will not last for a long time, and they will have to pay for it in time. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Sri Ram.